Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Unconventional Outdoorsman. This is the third episode of outdoor survival, just basic gear you're probably going to need whether you go camping, hiking, hunting, fishing, on any of those excursions. But before we get into today's video, please do me a huge favor and click that subscribe button if you haven't. Once you do that, click the notification bells. That way you know every time I post a new video here on the channel. So I'm going to do these in no particular order. These are all very good choices. Any type of knife, and of course these are just specific knives, but anything in this type of category will do you good. Now, I'm going to go with fishing first. For example, say you're going on a couple-day camping trip / fishing. So a couple of these knives are fitted more towards that. I have a video on this one down in my channel feed if you want to go check it out. This is my M-Tech USA. It's a very low-end knife, not the best quality knife by any means, but it's a little neck knife. So what that means is this little necklace goes around your neck here, obviously, and it goes in here. And if you're cutting line or you're getting ready to clean a fish or whatever, you just take it out and you cut the line, or you do whatever you need to do, cut some paracord, whatever. It's very handy dandy, only weighs about 4 ounces, and it just hangs around your neck there. And if you're out in public, say you go into town to get something, do that, and nobody can even tell you have anything. Look at this beautiful shirt, this NRA shirt I've got on. It's awesome, pure American freedom. So yeah, it is a full tang fixed blade, about 2 inches just under. It keeps a pretty good blade, a pretty good edge on the blade sharpness wise. I mean, obviously if you're going to be using this every day for more than a couple days, you're probably going to want to bring a sharpener around with you. Obviously I'll always carry a rucksack if I'm going on more than a day. I'll probably carry that, and I'll carry a couple knives with me. Anywhere I go, I always carry at least a couple knives with me, one on me and one in a bag or something. So next, if you're fishing or you're just walking around, let's say you're going hiking and you don't necessarily want to carry a fixed blade, or if you don't have something like that, a good locking pocket knife. This is a Gerber Bear Grylls edition. It's a very old knife. I wouldn't say very old, like 11 years now, which I guess that's pretty old for some of you guys and gals who might be younger. But this is a Gerber, like I said. I'm going to give one of my pet peeves with this. I hate this serrated edge here. It's not good. It gets in the way of trying to sharpen it, but I guess it's good for some things. Now, if you had to, you could probably clean a fish with this if you wanted to. Not the best. Mainly it's for, cutting things up, cutting fishing line. Really, a nice blade you don't want to use to cut fishing line because it's going to dull it up very quickly. It has like a nice polymer handle here with a good finger groove, which allows for steady, keeping the blade in your hand steady while you're doing your work with it. So that is that one. That's the Bear Grylls Gerber. The Gerber Bear Grylls, I guess. So next, I've just made a video about this last week. My Elk Ridge full tang fixed blade. This is a very good blade, very thick. If you're going to be, cutting wood with it, for example, you're trying to get kindling and you're getting some branches off of trees, you do something like this, and it's got a very thick blade, so it won't hurt if you're just banging against a tree a little bit to get that twig or something off. Now, obviously, you are going to probably need to sharpen it after you do that, but a nice walnut handle here isn't going to do you bad at all, especially since the good finger grooves, again, allowing for a better grip. Leather, if you're going to be out in an area where it's really wet, like today in Missouri, it's very cold and, not cold, but muggy and very rainy. So you might want to, have some other type of holster if you have something like this. But either way, that's going to do you good either way. Wow, I just said the same thing twice. Wow, shows how tired I am. Haven't had my coffee today. Next, I'll be going over a pair of SOG knives. One, for example, if I'm fishing or I'm just hiking, I'll always carry a fixed blade at my side. Even if it's like, for example, when I made that video about me shooting the snake, anytime I kill a snake or whatever, I always chop the head off. So a good blade to do that. Cutting things open, for example, if you're preparing food and you've got a nice clean blade and it's nice and sharp, if you're cutting meat or cutting up vegetables or anything, you can use something like this. Something I like about this holster too, the sheath rather, it's polymer for one, but you see that little slot right there? It's got a place where you can cut fishing line or cut paracord, whatever you need to do. I like how it's a very easy access, so let me show you how quick I can do this. If I had to, I could pull it out and defend myself against an animal or whatever. Let me grab that holster, what just went on the floor on the kitchen. But yeah, a nice little fixed blade, another polymer handle. For example, you could probably use this to start a fire with a piece of flint and steel. That could be your steel as long as you had a flint. May not work. Might, if that doesn't work here, use the blade. That will probably be the next episode, is going over ways to start fires. So the next one is this SOG one. It's got a different type of holster. It's more of like a fabric one or a cloth one, I guess. A couple different ways you can do it. It's got this thing on the back here. For example, if you ever carry it on the small of your back like this, that can help you. So if you're just trying to, keep it concealed or whatever, it's a fixed blade as well. I don't think this is a full tang. I'm not sure though, because obviously some of the blade is concealed in here. I'm assuming it's a full tang though. Very girthy blade as well as the rest of these fixed blades. One straight blade, no serration bullshit on there. Excuse my language, but I really hate that stuff. Really gets in the way of maintaining my knives. I usually just always keep this one on the back of my rucksack. It's nice, good, and sharp. Nice polymer handle. I don't have to worry about if I've got fish slime on my hands from cleaning fish. If it's wet, if it's hot, it's not going to gain a lot of heat. It's not going to get too wet to where I can't grab it. It's got some finger grooves up there that are very, very good. And a plus about this knife, I'll just put this over here. It's got a little pouch on the front here. And what I have are some waterproof matches along with a starter for them. For example, say I'm out fishing or whatever, I stay out a little bit too late, a little bit longer than I could have. It's like 3-4 miles back to camp. And this is just a theoretical situation, but I can't get back to camp. I've got to start a fire where I'm at. So I've got about 20 of these matches here, and I'll show you. I'm not going to light one in the house, obviously, because that's a fire hazard, and it would set off all the smoke alarms. But the good thing about these, the only way they can go out is if they're completely submerged in water until they burn up the whole match. So you light one of these and you put it in your kindling and you add a couple more for, some fuel. It's really going to do you really good. I've used these before in camping scenarios, and they're extremely great when it's nice and wet and muggy and rainy. Definitely don't want that. I always carry a couple extra of these in my rucksack. I have more of these. It's just basic stuff you start matches on. If you could, if you could probably start on a piece of leather or whatever if you had to. I wouldn't recommend that though. You can also put a piece of paracord down here if you're carrying it on your hip. That way it's not wobbling and dangling on the side of your leg all the time. So that is the, fifth knife. I can't count. I never graduated kindergarten, everybody. So, yeah. Next one is my Ozark Outdoors Bowie knife. Now this is like my ideal one. If I'm going to go out camping for over 3 days, I'm going to carry this thing on me. It's a very meaty blade, extremely heavy. I think it is a full tang, honestly. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure it is. It's not the best quality blade. It stays extremely sharp. This is always sharp enough that I can cut hairs off my arm with it. That's how sharp I've got it. So I can clean fish if I have to. I can defend myself against a game attack. For example, if there's an animal like I don't know what would attack me in Missouri, a coyote, cougar, whatever. I'd rather have a gun, obviously, but if worst came to worst, I could use this. I can bang on it, for example, if I'm cutting stuff open. For example, say I'm like in a dire situation. I lost my fishing rod, I lost my rifle, and I'm on the side of a river. I could literally just use this to beat open mussels to get the meat out of them to start a fire or whatever. Like I said, full tang fixed blade, very thick. High quality steel. I've had this one for a couple of years and haven't had too many problems with it. Obviously, if you're going to, like with any of these knives or any knife in general, if you're going to be using it every day, multiple times a day, you're probably going to want to keep a sharpener on you. The wood handle shouldn't be too much of a problem. Certain wood does expand and contract. This one does as well, but with these nice pins in there, it's not going to necessarily break apart on you in the middle of a camping trip. For example, if you don't want that and you don't like looking at wood, I don't know why you wouldn't. You could wrap around electrical tape to make sure it doesn't get wet as much as it would like this. This one is probably the heaviest knife out of all of them. It's closer to 10 ounces, 10, 12 ounces. I have it in an old M-Tech holster from another fixed blade. The reason I have it in this one, it's an ambidextrous one, so I'm a lefty. That way I can just carry it on my left side without having to, carry it like this and draw it very weird. So, yeah. Those are some knives that are going to do extremely well in a survival situation, whether I said it's camping, hunting, hiking, fishing, you fill in the blank of the outdoor activity. So if you guys have any other suggestions of any knives that you would carry in a situation like this, drop it down in the comments below. But yeah, that is all I have for you fine people today. I will be making a banger of a video tomorrow, and I'll probably do the 4th episode of this outdoor survival series on Saturday. So thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time.